color red. In a world full of black and white.
Brace for the change, brace for the rage, brace for the wave. I've been going through it. Y'all know the pain, driving insane, deep in your veins. Y'all know how I prove it. Strut through the lanes, gripping the grain. Miles an hour, yeah, miles of fluid. Mask on, asking, why should I do it? Because no one is moving. I came from the swamp, the mud. Algorithm told me I was the plug. Feel for the fiend, you know what I mean. I've been through all of the lesson and hugs, and that is because I've abandoned all hope who enter here. So listen clear, I made your dreams. Fireflies don't disappear.
Everywhere.
What's up, everybody? We are here for another episode of Fireflies Forever. Really happy to be with y'all this week. Welcome to everyone in the chat. Before I even bring Chris in here, I'm going to do this because I know I'm going to forget because we got some good stuff to talk about. Drop a like on the video if you don't mind. And if you are new to the channel, welcome to Fireflies Forever. Welcome to Insiders Pro Wrestling. We're glad you're here. Hit that subscribe button. Join the family. All right. Now I'll get to bring Chris on. And listen, we're going to throw you all off this week. Not in our normal places. Thanks to a issue with StreamYard. So, Chris, how's it going this week, man?
Pretty good.
Good.
Excited to see the Wyatt Sicks back on SmackDown. They didn't skip out on us for a week, so that was definitely good.
Yeah. We put it into the universe.
Yep.
And it worked out for us. So, it was good to see them on screen. Let's hope this momentum continues because based on what Howdy said,
I have high hopes.
I have some high hopes now. So again, welcome everyone in the chat. If you are new to the show, every week we start off with memories, and I want to do that this week. Chris has a video for us, so I'll have him set that up, and we'll talk about it on the other side.
So it's crazy, ever since Jodie passed, how many times that I've just had these random encounters with Fireflies. They show up everywhere now, and it's awesome because every time I see them, it puts a smile on my face, and I can't help but think of Jodie and feel still connected to her. And so, as an example of that, the video we're going to show here, I have an Apple TV in my room, and it has, you can do different screensavers on it. One of the screensavers it does is a Snoopy one. And it's crazy. Every time I look at it, he's always doing different things. You hardly ever see the same thing twice. He's just always doing these random things and stuff. So the other day, the screensaver was on while I was just sitting there on my phone or something, and I look up at the TV screen, and this is what I saw.
Wow. Knowing what was coming. Wow. All right, here we go, folks.
I grabbed my phone real quick and started video recording, and I'm like, that is crazy. It's got Fireflies.
Man, that's I thought you were going to say you could customize it.
No, it's totally random.
That's totally random.
Oh, yeah. One time, he's in space with a space suit on, and another time he's playing basketball. He's always doing random things. It's a really cool screensaver. But yeah, that totally random. I just looked up, and that was what was on there.
I got chills, man.
Yeah.
That's wow, man. Wow. When I saw it, I was like, I saw the Fireflies. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. I didn't even know this was a thing. And,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, I wonder if that's in an episode. So I was
Mm-hmm.
gonna ask you about it. I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I learned about it
Yeah, I
right
figured when I
before.
sent that to you, I was like, what is this? With no context or explanation.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was so cool that,
yeah.
like I said, Fireflies just they show up for me in the most random places, and I love
Wow. Wow. That is special.
it.
That's special, man. Like now I'm gonna have to look on Apple TV on my TV and see.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, if you go in settings, like there's different screensavers you can choose, and
yeah.
you may I think it was one of the latest updates they added the Snoopy one. It's pretty
Okay.
cool.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna look to see after we wrap up that. Man, that's awesome. Wow. Wow. I don't even. Wow. That's all I can say.
I know it was great. One of the last things I ever expected to see on there.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing, man.
Hmm.
That's wow. That is awesome. Jeremy.
I know. I can't. That Jodie bestowed that title on me, I think, and now I'm forever tied to them, and I'm totally okay with that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it seems it. I mean, yeah. I mean, the Fireflies have definitely made themselves visible to you.
Hmm.
Um, wow, man. That's yeah. All right. So, wow. Okay, artwork. I am I'm speechless right now. So, I do want to. I know Chris was able to get a couple of items, and I want to thank Jesse Callan for sending over a bunch of art. We're going to spread it out over the next few weeks, so stay tuned for that. But I am sharing some this evening, so we'll go to the first one here. Make this full screen.
Yeah, I saw this and it just blew me away. Like it looks like a photograph.
Yeah, it does. I'm I'm trying to make it full screen. I don't know that it's going to go full screen. Thanks, StreamYard. So sorry, folks. Um, yeah. So wow. Yeah, this one's amazing.
Even like the
Detail.
beard and stuff, it is so
Yeah,
accurate. So cool.
yeah, it is, man. Wow. Jesse sent this one over from
Mhm.
our friend Nicole.
That's awesome. Love it.
Yeah, this is a little bit
Hmm.
closer. So
Wow,
James.
the shadowy and the
Yeah,
lighting is amazing.
yeah, it is.
Hmm.
It really is, man. Odin's son, Jeremy Dunderman, Brandon. Is she? I think I saw a clown in the house. What's up, everybody? Um, Somebody's joining us from Twitch. Hello to whoever you are. Oh, this is awesome too.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I don't
this
even know what you call that art style, but I love it.
I do too. Yeah, that's amazing. Wow.
It does remind me a little bit of some stuff Rob Zombie's done on some of his album artwork and stuff, or
Yeah.
like the pages inside of like the album covers. I've
Hmm.
seen him do some things that look kind of like that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's awesome, man. So this Jesse sent over to me, and I don't know how many of you know Stefano, but he's been in the streams before. Huge Firefly, part of the family. But this is I guess, a tattoo concept for a tattoo he's getting.
That's really cool.
Yeah, yeah, that's sick.
Hmm.
Yeah, look at that, man. And then this last one, Jesse sent over.
Oh wow,
Yeah, look
like
at
an
that.
anime style.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is awesome. Bret Hart saying Bray has the best fans. I would agree.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, we're shocked by the. I I'm gonna venture to say Chris was shocked by the recent
Oh yes,
releases and
very very
contract.
sad about our truth,
Yeah,
especially.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. That one was a bit of a shocker. Um, I'm not gonna go full rant today, but if we do the show on Sunday, I am
Yeah.
at a few things with that. Um, but I'm gonna have something to say to the fans too. In particular, the fans that I don't know 2-3 weeks ago were on social media griping and complaining that John Cena had to face R-Truth and it
Hmm.
was such a throwaway match and all whatever else they said.
Right.
Yeah, I have something to say. Um, I have something to say to you.
Mhm.
Um,
In the words of Daniel Bryan, fickle.
Fickle. Yes. Yes. Clown saying, I would say the one you couldn't decide, the art style you couldn't place your finger on, is reminiscent of the old Ben Cooper Halloween mask.
Mm.
That's a good. Okay. Yeah. Jeremy saying our truth was so great. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah, he
yeah.
was. He was. All right, man. So I guess we'll get into discussing what we saw on Friday. And then, folks, I want you to stick around because we'll wrap that up. But we have a very, very, very interesting theory to discuss. Chris saw this and said, "Hey, we got to discuss this," and I think it's going to be awesome. And we want to get your thoughts on it as well.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Definitely.
so yeah, definitely be ready to participate. Here in a little bit. We definitely have something fun to talk about. All right, so Chris, we got a warning basically from Howdy.
Yes, we did.
Um, so break down what he said and what you think it means for the SmackDown roster.
Yeah, so nice to see one of the nice cryptic howdy videos back again. Love to see that, especially we got a double dip of that in, them coming out to cause some mayhem. So that was definitely awesome. But yeah, Howdy said we won't stop until we get what is owed, which I find very interesting because I'm not exactly sure what he means by that. What is owed to them?
Well, that was going to be my question for you in the chat. What do you think he means by what is owed? Because I was trying to figure that out. I mean, is it notoriety? Is it redemption? What is it at this point? Is it revenge? I mean, what is it at this point?
My
Or go ahead, Chris.
my first thought was maybe he's literally talking about the spotlight, the time that they missed while they were away. I mean, it's hard to not say that they're kind of taking over SmackDown right now with these, things that they're doing, just hurting everybody and stuff. So that was my first thought was, well, maybe they're coming to take back all that time they missed and the
Hmm.
spotlight on SmackDown.
I think that's a good pick. Um, Clown saying their legacy.
Mm,
I like that too.
yeah, that's good too.
I like that. Um, I want you to elaborate on that, Clown. I want you to take the pencil for a minute and you elaborate on. I actually have a pencil too. Here you go. You take the pencil, you elaborate because I want you to get creative. Um, I think it's bigger than that, is she? I think it's bigger than DIY. I think it's bigger than the tag titles.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's all about notoriety, attention, and like Chris said, that spotlight, to be seen, to finally be seen.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's basically how we got here with this group, is that they took the quote unquote misfits, the ones that hadn't been seen, that had
Mm-hmm.
been forgotten about, and put them together and to wreak havoc.
Yeah.
Jeremy,
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Jeremy saying for Alexa to remember who she is. I
Yeah,
think
I
that's
think that encompasses a lot of this. That could be part of it. I think the tag titles could be a part of this too. I just like you said, I don't think it's just that, but I think that's part of it. And same thing with their history with DIY and Candace and stuff. Like I think all that's going to tie back in, but it is more than simply just that, because yet again we saw them attack Nathan Frazier, who has done nothing to them, or nothing wrong, anything outside of but like we talked about last week, everyone's done stuff wrong, and everyone deserves punishment for their sins and stuff. So I think it's not just one thing that they're after right now. They're after everything.
yeah. I mean, you and Clown basically saying, Clown saying here their legacy equals the
Hmm.
title stolen from Bray, the tag title stolen from Harper, the forgiveness Alexa owes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love all that.
I think is bigger than a singular mindset or
Hmm.
path. I think it's multifaceted here. Um,
Yeah.
Jen Carter, how are you? Bret Hart saying management likes to say I owe you one after doing the job for others. It's their time to collect. Yeah,
Maybe it's even so much as, obviously we've seen them, all of them are active on social media and even as a group and post things on Twitter. Maybe they've seen some of the things said about them, people
yeah,
calling them a joke or saying they should be released or anything. And that maybe that's incorporating in this too, that they're just taking no prisoners right now. They're going to prove that they're worthwhile and they're forced to be reckoned with.
yeah, yeah. I agree. I think they are on a mission,
Hmm.
and I don't think there is anyone that will be able to stop them successfully or for very long.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I think this is a group that I don't know. I'm trying to be careful, but I just get the sense that from what I got from SmackDown was they really want to feature this group,
Hmm.
and I think they're doing the long game by doing a couple things, because the tag team stuff was fun, it was enjoyable, but now they just added another dimension to it.
Hmm.
They just added some more spice to it. Um, so now it's elevating both the storyline, but also everyone involved. And I think
Hmm.
one of the major beneficiaries of this will be the Wyatt Six.
Yeah. Yeah, and think about the last time, what was happening to them the last time we saw them. I mean, they got destroyed by the Final Testament. I
Right.
mean, so they needed a big comeback, and they need to reassert their dominance and show that they learned from that, and now they've come to overtake everyone.
Yeah. I thought that was what I got from it, and I even said this as soon as I saw the Howdy video. I said the thumbnail title is "No One Is Safe,"
Mm-hmm.
and no one is safe,
Yeah.
and I love it. I love it because I think this is going to be a lot of fun
Yeah.
for the fans.
And it's gonna, like we talked a little bit about last week, it's gonna be cool to see, maybe their first step is the tag team division. Maybe Gacy and Loomis go and fight for the tag titles and take those. And then, Nikki goes after and gets her revenge for Candice. And, it seems like they're really setting that up, that the group could split off and go in different directions after different targets, but still be, one group. They don't all have to be going after the same target. It seems to be like they're really, now after 2 weeks, I like that vibe, and I really hope that's the direction they're going.
Yeah. Is she saying, did you see Uncle Howdy's new mask and he brought back the dreads?
I did. I thought it looked really good.
This might be an old picture, but
it looks like it's be something really good that he could wrestle in easily too.
Yeah. Because that's the thing for them. If they're gonna wrestle under those masks, you want to make sure that they stay on when you're doing your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because I kind of feel like if the mask came off, well, I'm sure they would find a way to make lemonade out of those lemons.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be it'd be kind of bad in the moment, I would say.
Yeah. People would definitely crap on it, I feel like.
Oh yeah. Like the haters would just eat that up and run with
it.
Yeah. Brandon asking, what do you think the Wyatt Sicks have in store this Friday? I think that's a great question. Chris, what do you think, man?
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I feel like, we very well will probably see them attack, some or all of the tag teams again. But I feel like how long are they going to allow that to happen before do all those tag teams decide to band together? Like, we're tired of this happening. We got to do something about it. And all of them come together to go against the Wyatt Sicks or what? I don't know. I feel like there's got to be a breaking point. They're going to keep doing this, as Howdy said. They won't stop. So, what are they all just going to lay down and die, or are they going to rise up together? That's going to be interesting to see, because obviously none of these teams like each other and they can't get along, as we saw it before they attacked. They were all fighting amongst each other. So yeah, it's a really interesting dynamic of how many weeks are they going to allow this to happen before they try and do something back about it.
Yeah. I think that's a good point. The other question that I would ask is it possible you bring up the other teams kind of joining to stop getting their behinds whooped?
Mm-hmm.
What if we get a match at Money in the Bank?
That would be very cool. Obviously we've never seen them on a PLE yet. And
right.
I know we all want to. And I'm sure it will happen, especially now that they're back and it feels like they're getting built up. So I definitely think it will happen probably this year. I don't know if it'll be as soon as Money in the Bank or not, but that would be awesome to see some kind of a tag team match, especially if they end up going for a tag title match. I could definitely see them having that on a PLE.
I didn't realize. Here I am saying Money in the Bank, forgetting that it's already June.
Yeah, that's this Saturday.
That is this Saturday. Yeah, so
I mean,
I'm gonna.
we do have one more SmackDown before that, so
We do. I mean, it could,
Mhm.
but I
I'm
don't
thinking
know.
SummerSlam though is very
Yeah,
likely, considering it's 2 nights this year, so they're going to need a
yeah,
lot of matches to fill that out.
that makes a lot more sense, and they can do a lot. Um, they can do a lot of matches between the six and pick a team. I mean,
Hmm.
it can be whoever, but yeah, SummerSlam makes a heck of a lot more sense.
Yeah,
I am so lost on time right now. It's
that would be
ridiculous.
awesome to see if that's their first PLA, and obviously that's a bit of a throwback to the Fiend. His first PLE was SummerSlam.
SummerSlam, yeah, that
Mm.
would be awesome. That
Well,
would
and
be
if I recall right, Bray's was too. Well, did he debut at SummerSlam too against that match
awesome.
with Kane?
Let me see.
I want to say that was SummerSlam.
Let's see here. SummerSlam 2013.
Yeah, so SummerSlam is pretty important to the Wyatts.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yep, he and the Wyatt family defeated Kane in a Ring of Fire match. Yep, yep, yep.
So that definitely could be the plan. Build this up to a match at SummerSlam.
Yeah, that makes sense in many
Could even
different
be
ways.
a multi tag team match, maybe like a fatal 4-way with them as one of the teams against some of the other SmackDown tag teams.
Yeah. Hello, Alicia. All right. Well, Chris, man, I'm excited to see if they actually do this SummerSlam thing now. That's gonna be awesome because they
Yeah.
can definitely build it out
Hmm.
until then. So
Yeah. Yeah, and it'd be said being 2 nights, they're gonna need at least 10 or 12 matches or so for SummerSlam.
mhm, absolutely, absolutely. All right, man. So we're gonna get into this theory, and you sent it over. You saw it, so I'm gonna have you set this thing up. But this, I'm just gonna shut up. You let me know when to go to the next slide, and
Mhm.
yeah. So here we go.
Yeah, so I saw this week in the Firefly Funhouse fan group on Facebook, and it's really interesting. I mean, and we kind of talked about it a little bit after the Cena heel turn, the ties that we saw back to Bray, and especially this Firefly Funhouse match. But this just elaborates on that a lot more. That and we know that some of this we talked about before. Like we everyone who encountered the Fiend ended up turning heel at some point. It wasn't always right away. Sometimes it was down the road. Obviously, Cena was years later, but almost everyone that ever encountered the Fiend ended up turning heel. But what if Cena was still trapped inside the Funhouse and never got out? And we're going to elaborate on that here in these next ones. Go ahead and go to the next one. And we saw him just disappear and vanish at the end of that match. No explanation. And then he was just gone from WWE for roughly a year, which I always thought that was weird. When we watched that match, like, why did Cena just disappear like that?
Right.
And with no explanation. And then he, was off TV and everything. Go ahead and go to the next one.
That was bizarre.
Hmm. Yeah, this is totally accurate. This wasn't really a match. This was a psychological purgatory. Cena was forced to relive all his failures, lies, going through each of his personas, and it was brilliantly done. But yeah,
Agreed.
this I always thought that this match was designed. Bray and Cena obviously had a lot of history. We all agree that Bray should have beat Cena at WrestleMania 30, and obviously that was part of this was undoing that and righting that wrong. But it was also just, I feel like, to teach Cena a lesson, to force him, like to relive his failures and stuff, and just yeah, just basically caused hell on Cena.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, he definitely did that. Definitely did that.
Yeah, and this one, and obviously the parallels we're seeing now with this is uncanny. NWO Cena wasn't satire; it was foreshadowing. Hollywood Hogan was at the time the biggest symbol of betrayal and heel turns, and now Cena has turned heel alongside The Rock, similar to his Hollywood Rock. Yeah, I mean, we all of us I know thought of this image when we saw Cena turn heel.
Mm-hmm.
Bray
Yep.
called this years ago that he was going to do it.
Yep. I was halfway thinking at one point. I was like, I wonder if they bring in an NWO shirt.
Yeah, that would have been really cool.
Yeah.
Would have been a really cool callback.
Yeah.
And in the Funhouse match, Cena is taken through various points in time. His heel turn, he chooses to use a watch as a weapon, which all ties back to Wyatt's references to time. Thought that's a really cool thing that I didn't even pick up on when I
Yeah.
saw him hit Cody with his watch. And obviously, there's the ties of that watch being special to Cody and everything too. But um, yeah, that's an interesting choice to use that as the weapon.
Mm-hmm. And especially against Cody.
Yeah. In the match, Wyatt tells Cena he's a bully that only fights people when they're vulnerable. And now look what Cena's become. He low-blowed Cody and hit him while he's down and did it again at WrestleMania 41 and at Backlash. Cena's definitely become, and look how much he's bullying the fans and stuff now too. I mean, that's all he's doing is just becoming a bully. And Bray saw that in him years ago.
Yep. And R-Truth at Saturday night's main event.
Yep, that too. Cena's mirroring Wyatt's character evolution. He now speaks cryptically and acts judgmental as if bearing a holier than thou personality. He also seeks control over redemption.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like we've seen with other people that came across the Fiend. They started to take on some of Bray's characteristics and things like that. And yeah, and now Cena, evolving into this kind of a character is definitely, shadows back to some of the things that Bray did.
Right. Yeah.
Is Cena still trapped in the funhouse, watching his true persona slowly fade and die as the fans turn against his heel manifestation? And this part, I definitely love the idea of what if Uncle Howdy was the one to set him free? Maybe he's been trapped in the funhouse this whole time, and Howdy is the one that could release him from that and turn him back to his true self.
It's such an interesting theory.
Mm-hmm.
So my question, and I know you shouldn't answer a question with a question, but for discussion purposes, let's say that this is indeed the case. Creatively, how do you do it? How do you make that tie? How do you have Cena trapped in the funhouse?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm asking this to you and the chat.
Oh, another note too. One of the things I saw too about this was that even commentary has referred to him as like saying it's not the real Cena or something seems off about him. And we saw R-Truth kind of say some of that too. That's not really him.
Mm-hmm.
It's not how he is and stuff. So that that kind of leans into it too. That we're seeing this fake Cena right now.
Yeah. Wow. I just thought about something. All right. I'm gonna hold on to that until the end of this because there's an interview that Cena did that makes me think there's a possibility of something
Mm.
but I want to hold that. So, Clown, saying, what if Howdy's return left the door open? Cena wasn't meant to escape.
Mm. That's interesting too. Hmm.
That is.
So maybe, yeah, that's an interesting twist on it. That Cena did escape, but what escaped is this evil
What
heel
version?
persona that he became because of his interaction with Bray and the
Yeah.
Fiend. Huh.
What version of Cena escaped is the
Yeah.
question. Which
Mm-hmm.
version of Cena is trapped? That's a good.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. Deanna, hopefully you're feeling better, Deanna. Trapped Cena has been talking to Mercy too much.
I like that.
Yeah. All right. So I guess I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna throw this out there now. I don't know this to be the case. Maybe there's another plan, but what if this is the way Cena goes out?
Mm.
And I mention that because it seems to me when I've heard John Cena talk about doing the Firefly Funhouse match, he talked about how much he enjoyed it, how much he loved Bray's creativity and his process and where they took things, where they wanted to take things, all of this. So what if this is the way that Cena leaves the WWE? We see the good guy who was trapped emerge,
Mm.
and that's how he bids his farewell. Maybe
That was
Howdy
really
helps
cool.
him out, but
Mm-hmm.
that's how he
Mm.
that's how he does his goodbye.
Yeah.
Or maybe his goodbye is not walking out of the arena, but walking back through the door.
Yeah. Hmm. Maybe they could even tie that into Bray as like, Howdy is, maybe still sees that there's still some good in Cena, and as a favorite of Bray, goes against him to pay those last sins and make him clean again
Yeah,
and turn him back good, as an honoring to Bray.
yeah. And Deanna saying, and this is where I was going. Maybe this is a part.
Hmm.
This is part of how Cena pays tribute to Bray.
Yeah, that would be very cool.
I'm not. I think if Bray were still here, and if this Cena thing were happening this year like it is,
Hmm.
there's a part of me that does believe that Bray would be his final match.
Oh yeah, at the very least, it seems like we're seeing Cena go up against some of his biggest opponents. There's rumors that he's going to have a match with CM Punk. Obviously, that was one of his big feuds, and
Mm-hmm.
I fully believe that Bray would be having a match with him this year because that was another one of Cena's biggest feuds.
Yeah,
We saw him against Randy Orton. That was another big one. Like some of his most iconic feuds, and definitely Bray is up there.
some of Bray's most iconic moments, and I would argue some of Cena's most iconic moments, were them with each other.
Hmm. Oh yeah.
I
Not even
mean,
just the Firefly Funhouse match. I mean, think about
right.
the cage match where Cena's going out and runs into the kid
Mm-hmm.
singing "He's got the whole world in his hands." I mean,
Mm-hmm.
oh, that I love that.
I mean, and then all the stuff backstage and
Hmm.
outside of the. I mean, there was just so much between those two guys, and
Yeah,
you could
it would
tell they
be.
enjoyed working with each other.
Oh yeah, it would be very fitting to close out Cena's last year and retirement matches with something like that to pay tribute to Bray.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so chat. let's talk about it. Is Cena still trapped in the funhouse, watching his true persona slowly fade and die as the fans turn against this heel manifestation? And will Howdy be the one to help him be set free? We want to hear from you. What do you guys think?
Another cool throwback to Bray would be, what if Uncle Howdy dons a heel glove, or the heel glove, no,
Mm-hmm.
from the Hurt and Heel ones, and put some mandible claw on him with that.
Mm. Oh, yeah, that would be wow. That's a good one. Craig saying maybe his final feud will be against the Wyatts and Howdy. Alicia saying what Howdy said on Friday, maybe the other Cena is in their quote unquote home door and the Wyatts want their home back.
Hmm.
We won't stop. The Amazing Guy saying the Firefly Funhouse wasn't a real place, it was in Bray's mind. Cena already talked about in 2021 how he escaped the Firefly Funhouse too.
Yeah, but obviously this is all adaptation and story.
Right. And also you have to think about when the Wyatt Sicks showed up, we got glimpses of the Funhouse, just
Mm-hmm.
not as we remember it.
Yeah.
So I mean, I
I
think
think the Firefly Funhouse is in Bo's head too.
I do too. I do too. I do too. I just think right now, and I don't know what the thing is, but I think right now it's just darkness. But I
Mm.
wonder what will bring it to light
Yeah.
again. So
Maybe turning Cena back would do that. Bring some light back to it as
yeah,
an honoring to Bray.
yeah. Clown saying it would be if Cena final act was walking back through the door, finally giving Bray the final victory he was always denied. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
I like that.
Again, saying Funhouse is a real place, is whatever you need it to be. And I think that's why we saw it in darkness.
Yeah. And we know, I mean, yes, it was somewhat in Bray's mind, but it was also a real place too, because we've seen Seth go there, we've seen Braun go there.
Mm-hmm. Because remember the whole thing of Seth, like, how did you get
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a lot of fun. So I mean, I think I'm
I
just
definitely. Oh, sorry.
go
Go
ahead,
ahead.
go ahead, go
I
ahead,
was
Chris.
say I saw the amazing guy did another comment. I agree with that too. I definitely want to see them explore, go down the path of Alexa with them. I really hope that they go down that, especially if it involves getting revenge on her.
Right,
She definitely has a part in this story.
right. I think, and I think this is kind of where some of my frustration lies with wrestling fandom today,
Mm-hmm.
and just fandom of a lot of entertainment. I feel like people think just because they watch it or just because they support it or consume it that they have to somehow be involved in the decision making process,
Mm-hmm.
and that if they're not, that whatever happens is somehow subpar.
Mm-hmm.
um, and I think as fans we have to be careful with that mindset. I think if we're all being honest, all of us do it from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we have to be honest with ourselves and understand that as much as we would like for something to happen, as much as we want something to happen, as much sense as it may make, it may not happen on our timeline.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that generally about the wrestling fandom, but bringing it back to this, I think it's important to understand that um, if we're being completely transparent, this group needed some kind of spark, something
Mm-hmm.
big coming back.
Yeah.
I feel like we're ramping up
Mm-hmm.
to that.
Yeah.
I feel like Friday was kind of the rallying cry
Mm-hmm.
from Howdy, and I think
Yeah.
the next little bit might be a little nuts.
Mm-hmm.
I think they'll get to the Alexa stuff. Um, I don't know when, and I don't know when that makes sense,
Mm-hmm.
but I think they will eventually get to it. It
Oh
just
yeah. I
may,
mean,
it
they've
just
made
may
that
not.
clear with the hints of her jacket and her
Right,
doll and everything. Like, yeah, they'll
right,
definitely cross paths at some point.
right, right. I just think we have to understand that it may be a more lengthy process.
Yeah. Right now, she's involved in the Money in the Bank match, and who
Yeah,
knows? She could win that and get a title. Like, you never know.
right, right. You never know what could happen. So, I I like for the time being that they're kind of keeping them separate.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I like that is I don't want either to get in the other's way.
Yeah.
And I don't want either to become a product of being overshadowed by a storyline or
Mm-hmm.
a title if that happens or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Um, I think I think when it happens, it has to make sense and it can't be force fed. It's got to be something that happens, I
Mm-hmm.
think, organically within the story that ties it all into that direction.
Yeah. I think something else too, and the stuff we're talking about, an important thing to remember is that we saw over the years that, you know, obviously Bray was a mastermind at storytelling and had all these creative ideas and stuff, but he didn't always get to play out the stories exactly how he wanted them to. You know,
Right.
changes had to be made, that they didn't like certain things about it, things had to be adapted and stuff. So it's not the same cohesive story that Bray was always trying to tell, but at the basis of it, I think it's generally there. Details here or there might not totally add up to what Bray would have done or what he said or anything like that, but I think the overall thing is there, and I think Bo is adapting it and changing it as how he feels like it would be best to do now in Bray's absence and everything. So, you know, if a certain detail or this or that doesn't necessarily 100% line up, I don't think it's that big a deal because it's about the overall story and it's about overall just paying tribute to Bray and his creativeness.
Mhm. Clown saying keep them separate to install a false sense of hope in Alexa. They forgot about me. I'm safe. Then months from now,
Hmm.
no Alexa, we didn't forget about you. We got the smoke for you.
Hmm.
That's yeah. I like
Yeah,
that.
and I think it would be cool if, you know, in the meantime, as it looks like might get, seeing Alexa go after Candace and have a solo match with her, like that would be cool to just establish, or Nikki, I mean, establish Nikki some more before we see her go after Alexa.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, and I have to be cautious how I say this. I think all of us are eager for them to just be put in the biggest stuff and
Hmm.
have have the stories all tied together and told now. But what they're doing gives me hope that they know that not every story has to be told up front.
Mm-hmm.
Not every story has to have a conclusion in 2025.
Right.
Shoot, we may not see the Alexa stuff until 2026.
Yeah, you never know.
You just never know. But I am excited.
Mm-hmm.
Howdy got me hyped. I gotta be honest.
Yeah.
Howdy,
Yeah, I know it's instinctive of us, like, oh, we got them back now. I want to see them do this. I want to see them do this. I want to see them do this. Like, and it's natural. We're all excited that they came back and stuff, but we gotta remember to keep that in check. Like, let's let them tell. They obviously have a story cooked up now that they want to tell. They brought them back, so they have creative for them now. So let's just sit back and enjoy it and see what they're gonna do. I mean, obviously we'll talk about it, we'll theorize it and stuff, but I don't want to see them rush into anything if they have a certain timeline for how they want to do stuff.
Right. Yeah, I think whatever we get, I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
I really genuinely do. It's funny to see the machine guns tied up in this stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, um, but yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it's bringing some more eyes to everyone that's involved in that.
Oh yeah.
In that story right now. So yeah, I'm super happy about it. All right, gotta ask, is anyone watching NXT tonight?
Oh yeah.
All right. I'm gonna try my best to. I'm excited. I think Mike Santana is back on there this week against Trick for the title. So,
yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. So yeah, that'll be. I'll love that. And TNA has Against All Odds on Friday. And I don't know how many of you have, if I'm the first one telling you this, I'm sorry. It starts at 10 p.m. Eastern.
Oh wow. Is it a live show?
Yeah. It's a pay-per-view, one of their specials, one of the smaller
They just had
shows.
one a couple weeks ago, didn't they?
Yeah. last week, I think. Yeah. So well, not last week.
Awesome.
Week before. So yeah. But yeah, and this card looks really good too. So but we'll be here for it. I don't know how alert we'll be. Especially towards the end of the show, but we will be here. And we'll be here on Thursday. We'll do our predictions for that show and everything. So yeah, come and join us. That's what we'll be doing the rest of the week, and we'll let you know about Sunday later on in the week. We'll probably let you know Thursday or Friday. All right, so we're gonna start wrapping up here, Chris. I just wanted to turn it over to you. Give any final thoughts and your level of excitement on where we are right now with the Wyatt Sicks and this really cool theory that we got.
I'm definitely very excited. I think the door is metaphorically wide open for them to be able to do just about anything right now. So I think that they've, crafted a good story. I have no doubt about that, and I'm excited to see where they go with it.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. All right, one last question here, because I think I think this is an interesting question, but I sense a little bit of fear. So Brandon is asking if the plans are for Alexa ending up back with the Wyatt Sicks, how will that affect Nikki Cross? So what I would say is if you're thinking that somehow Nikki Cross ends up outside of the group, I don't think
No,
that's
I
a
don't think that at
concern.
all.
I if I think eventually they become a tag team.
I can see
That
that.
yeah, that's what I think. I think they eventually become a tag team. But yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
She's
that
not.
would be a real force in the women's tag division for
Yes,
sure.
and you need it if we're being
Yeah, they
honest.
definitely need it.
Yeah, you need it. So,
Mhm.
so yeah,
I
man.
mean, I could see a scenario where maybe for a bit they do have the Wyatt Sicks go on a run, a little bit like the Judgment Day did there for a while, where they win the Dexter and Gacy win one of the men's tag belts, and if Alexa came back and her and Nikki win the women's tag belts, and maybe they collect a bunch of gold for a bit. That would be really cool to see.
Yeah,
That's
it
definitely a
would.
possibility.
Yeah, it will be. I could see
Or
them.
Howdy or Rowan win a singles title or something like that. That could definitely happen at some point.
Yeah, yeah. I think it'd be really cool to see them have some gold at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And
Especially
be
if they can direct it back to as a tribute to Bray.
right. Right. Yeah, I agree. A twisted touch of bliss, says Alicia.
I like
Um,
that.
yeah. All right. Well, Chris, man, it was a lot of fun. That theory was awesome. I loved it.
Yeah, I figured that'd be cool to talk about. Definitely some interesting thoughts there, and I really, really hope that before the year's out, we get some kind of interaction or callback to Bray with Cena. And I think that would be very appropriate. Bray was a big part of Cena's career, so I really hope that he does something to honor him before he's out.
Yeah.
However that may be.
I agree, man. I agree. All right, folks. Well, that's going to do it for us this evening. We really appreciate you all joining us. If you don't mind, I said this earlier, but drop a like on the video. And if you are new to the channel, we hope you subscribe. We hope you enjoyed the show. That does it for us this week. Again, we'll be back on Thursday for TNA. Then we'll be back on Friday as well. We'll let you know about Sunday. But yeah, that's it. We'll see you all next week for another episode of Fireflies Forever. We hope you have a great rest of your week. Enjoy some wrestling, and if you're into TNA and NXT, we'll go watch some NXT tonight. All right, have a good night, folks. Take care.
I'm the color red in a world full of black and white.
Brace for the change, brace for the rage, brace for the wave. I've been going through it. Y'all know the pain, driving insane, deep in your veins. Y'all know how I prove it. Strut through the lanes, gripping the grain. Miles an hour, yeah, miles of fluid. Mask on, asking, why should I do it? Because no one is moving. I came from the swamp, the mud. Algorithm told me I was the plug. Feel for the fiend, you know what I mean. I've been through all of the lesson and hugs, and that is because I've had an all hope to enter here. So listen clear, I made your dreams. Fireflies don't disappear.